Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibuyers. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Good to have you here. It's Thursday, almost the weekend. I'm ready. I'm not really going to do a music fact of the day. It's been a tough day listening to these openings and listening to this testimony. The song that came to my mind is a song from the 90s, a country song called Concrete Angel by Martina McBride. And the song is about a little girl who was abused. The worst happens. And so Concrete Angel symbolizes this little girl. This could very well be one of the most difficult cases I've ever covered. What happened to her was just so horrific. I still want to tell her story while being a little respectful doing it. I've spoken to alibuyers privately who have shared traumatic things from their childhood, from their adulthood with me. And so I want this to be a safe place while still understanding this is a true crime podcast and it's never pretty. We're not here for happy stories. But at the same time, I think we can go through testimony that's very difficult, very graphic, in a way where we don't spell it out the same way it's done in court. So that's kind of my plan. Today ended pretty early. Sometimes in court, the witnesses go quickly, doesn't take as long. There's not a long cross exam. There's not a lot of redirect. And sometimes the testimony is just very short. There's not a whole lot to ask somebody. I think the person that was on the stand the longest today was Adam Montgomery's uncle, Kevin. Tomorrow morning, Kayla Montgomery will be testifying. That is Adam's ex-wife. She was with him through all of this. She was in the car when Harmony was killed. We know yesterday, Adam pled guilty to 2 of the charges, not the murder and not the tampering with witnesses. And I said yesterday on the little crash course I did just to get all of us ready for today that I have one of 2 theories. He's either going to say it's an accident or it's Kayla. We'll see what the defense had to say in their openings. I think they should force Adam to come and sit there and let that jury look at him and look at the man that's accused of doing these things they had to hear about today. Blows my mind that he gets to choose. You know, I said today on Twitter, it would be amazing if that prison set every channel in that prison to this trial and let everybody who shares that facility with him watch. Let's go through openings. I'm going to put a little picture collage of Miss Harmony up here. You know, the one thing that sticks out to me about this little girl is every picture that you see of her, she has the biggest smile. A chaotic childhood, bounced around foster homes. Seems like she had a great foster family that she was in and out of. Unfortunately, her mom was struggling with addiction, as was Adam. But through all that, it looks like she kept that little sweet spirit. Prosecutor says, where's Harmony? From Florida to Alaska and everywhere in between. People were looking for Harmony, but one person was not. The one person that should have been looking. He wasn't looking, and he was hoping she wouldn't be found. This case is about Harmony, but it's also about Adam, his rage and escalation in violence, and then murder. The murder was just the beginning of the depraved actions and what happened after. He evaded arrest for 2 years, and his only concern other than being caught was to keep his wife, Kayla Montgomery, from coming in here and telling you what he did to her. He went to great lengths to cover up the crime due to a bathroom accident. He thought if he destroyed what remained of Harmony, there would be no case, but he made mistakes. December 7th, 2019, Adam beat Harmony to death because she had a bathroom accident. She had no control over that. Brutal strikes that began in the car she was living out of and ended at the Burger King you saw yesterday on the jury view. He carried her for months in fear of being caught. And in the months that followed, he beat and terrorized the only witness to his crime. She was his loose end, Kayla Montgomery, his wife. The prosecutor goes through everything that was done to Harmony at the time of the murder and after in order to conceal her, ending by putting her body in a bag like this one, filling it with lime to further help decompose. The bag, by the way, that is a maternity bag that you get when you're leaving the hospital with your new one. Mind you, Harmony had a half brother that was, I believe, 10 months old. They show a photo of Kayla with black eyes. She's been beaten and said that Adam did this to the only witness to that crime. She was conditioned and lived in fear. He said, you'll hear 4 description of Harmony. She was born to Adam and Crystal June 7th, 2014. She was a daughter, a sister, a Minnie Mouse fan, a fun-loving girl who loved being a big sister. And when she was 5, she was murdered. She defied all odds. She spent most of her life with her foster parents, who she called Daddy Tim and Mommy Michelle. They got custody of Harmony when she was only 2 months old. Michelle was told Harmony wouldn't live past 7 months. She was told she had learning disabilities, but you'll hear Harmony was an intelligent girl. She was a curious child. She ran and played with other children. She was potty trained at a very early age, and that'll become important as we progress in this trial. When she lived with her mommy, Michelle, and Crystal, she was thriving in school and with her peers. That's one description of Harmony. But there are more. Adam got custody of Harmony in February 2019. Harmony was 4 years old. The second description is darker. This comes 10 days before he murdered her. Harmony is scared, skinny, constantly exhausted, and she's bruised. She can't control her bladder and bowel movements. During this time, she went from living in their home to living in a car and being homeless. When they lived in the car, the accidents got worse and more frequent. You'll hear of his rage that got worse with each accident. Each time he would strike her, adding to that fear. The next 2 descriptions come after he murdered her. You'll hear she went from this little girl full of life and joy to a scared girl. Next, she was the dead girl in a bag. Then she was the decomposing girl in the ceiling. The ceiling the defendant slept under for months. That's the 4 descriptions of her. That's what he made her before he disposed of her. There were 3 people who witnessed her murder, and they survived. Her 2 younger brothers, one was 5 months old, the other 2 years old, and Kayla. It's not about what Kayla did or didn't do. It's about what Adam did. The assault of Harmony in July 2019. That summer was her first with Adam living in a home on Guilford Street. They lived with the defendant's grandmother, Helen, and his uncle, Kevin. Helen and Kevin went to Florida. Then Helen had triple bypass. Kevin stayed to help her for 3 weeks. And when he left the home, Harmony was fine. She was uninjured. But when he came back, Harmony had a large black eye. So swollen it changed the profile of her face. When Kevin saw her, Adam was standing next to her. Kevin asked Harmony what happened. Adam spoke up and said she didn't do nothing. I bashed her around the house. I beat the dog crap out of her. That was the last night Kevin stayed in the house. And after he left, he did everything he could to get Harmony help. He contacted authorities. He contacted children's services, and he was unsuccessful. After the eviction, when they were living in their car, Harmony became incontinent. Each time, Adam would hit her. In the last 10 days before she was murdered, Harmony was so bruised that Adam would have to cover her with a blanket so people couldn't see. The morning of her murder, she woke up and had an accident. She was scared. Adam smelled what she had done, and he hit her. Adam drove to the methadone clinic, and he and Kayla took turns getting their treatments. Kayla went in first. When Adam came back, he was hungry and started to drive to Burger King. But as he pulled out of the parking lot, he smelled something, and the rage that had been building, he looked back at her and said, "Really, Harmony, again?" He took one hand off the wheel and began to hit her repeatedly. And he didn't stop. When he pulled up to a light, he continued to hit her. Kayla put her hand up to block him, and Adam gave her a look. Kayla was scared and put her hand down. And when he pulled up to another light, he continued hitting her. After the last strike, he looked at Kayla and said, "I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something." But he didn't stop. He continued to Burger King. He ordered his food and he ate. He never stopped to check on Harmony. Harmony began moaning and making gurgling sounds that continued off and on for several minutes. Adam ate his food and drove to the Colonial Apartments. While there, he did drugs for 20 minutes. Kayla was too scared to look back in the back seat. She was frozen. The sounds stopped and Harmony died. They leave the apartment and their car dies. Adam realizes he'll have to abandon the car. They start to get the kids out of the back seat and he shakes Harmony and tries to wake her up. But she was dead. When he realized she was dead, he got out of the car, got a duffel bag, and put her in it. Then went on about his day as if nothing happened. That afternoon, they went back to the apartments. A friend let them stay in his car. Adam would put her outside at night. It was December. It was cold. From the apartments, they went to Kayla's mom's, where they stayed most of the month of December. Adam was looking for somewhere more suitable to keep Harmony, and he found a cooler. He stored her there for the remainder of his stay. They left her mother's house on December 30th and went to the family's in transition shelter. Adam put her in the closet, then moved her from the closet to the ceiling. He removed the vent cover and put her there, but he faced a problem. Harmony's body began to decompose. The heat was on, which caused that to accelerate, and the smell became very apparent. Other tenants complained about that smell, so he took her out. I'm not going to get into what he did here, but he took her in the bathroom and moved her to another bag. Then he put her there again. Later on, after it became known Harmony was missing, investigators went to the shelter and they went into the ceiling. And 2 years later, they were still able to smell decomposition. They saw stains. The blood was tested, and it was confirmed to be Harmony. Adam made a mistake and left his palm prints in the ceiling. Back to when they were staying there, Adam had a problem, the decomposition. He got a job at the Portland Pie Company as a dishwasher and a cook and worked there for a month. That bag accompanied him to work. It stood out to people. He put it where they stored food and ingredients. They couldn't have imagined what the bag contained, but they saw it. They left the shelter and moved to an apartment on Union Street. Adam began discussing dismembering her. In that bathroom, in the apartment, we'll just say that he went to great lengths to minimize the size of the body. Adam spent most of the day in the bathroom. Kayla walked in. Adam told her to help, so she obeyed. On February 26th, he went to Home Depot. He bought a saw, a backup saw blade, a backup battery, and lime. On February 27th, Adam placed a work order to unclog the drain in the bathroom. He says to remember that for later. At this point, Adam becomes suspicious that Kayla is working with police to bust him. He was pulling out outlets, light sockets, and thought there were listening devices in the house. He began beating Kayla. It was constant. He told her he would kill her, and if he went to jail, he would have somebody else do it. Less than a week later, he disposed what was left of Harmony. He got help from friends renting a U-Haul. He rented a hotel room to leave from there to dispose of her. When the friend took him the keys for the U-Haul, his friend's girlfriend saw a bag protruding from the mini fridge in the hotel. When he got in the U-Haul, he kept telling his friend over and over, I effed up. I effed up. They headed south. Adam told Kayla he would not tell her where he was taking Harmony, so she could not use that against him. But he made another mistake. He blew through tolls. Cameras captured the van. And as the search for Harmony was underway, you will hear Adam on a wiretap with a friend saying that investigators were wasting their time. Adam conditioned Kayla. The abuse got worse. You'll hear Kayla lied. She stuck to the story Adam gave her, that he took her back to her mother. Kayla is in prison for those lies, but she's helped investigators prove Harmony is dead. Evidence investigators would not have had without her, and also some closure for Harmony's mother. There's forensic evidence and surveillance that matches her story. In the 2 years, Adam thought he was clear and free. He told someone what he really thought of Harmony, that she was evil. She did evil things, and she was a reminder of her mother. He said he hated Harmony to his core. They ask that the jury finds Adam guilty. The defense, I'm not going to go through their whole openings. I respect defense attorneys, but as I said yesterday, the two theories that I had about where Adam was going with pleading guilty to the abuse of a corpse and falsifying evidence, either he's going to say it was an accident or that he's going to blame Kayla. Well, the defense says seeing Harmony's picture is heartbreaking, but Adam didn't kill her. He didn't beat her. He didn't cause Harmony's death. Kayla was the last person to see Harmony alive. She didn't come clean with Adam, with the police, or with you. She has a deal with the state, and she has to continue to lie. Adam isn't innocent. He and Kayla covered up Harmony's death. You should find him guilty of those crimes. In protecting her, he set himself up. The evidence will show you will come mostly from his accuser, Kayla. The attorney general knew she wasn't working at Dunkin' Donuts. They caught her lie. Those records show she had been fired for stealing before they were evicted. 2 weeks later, as Kayla checked in as part of her bail conditions, she was arrested for lying to the grand jury, but she had a new story prepared. The state had the upper hand. She was allowed to give her new story, and that she agreed her statements could not be used against her. She only got the deal if the statements helped find out what happened to Harmony. If it didn't help, she would face additional felony charges, blah, 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 find him not guilty of murder. You know, Adam could show up there and get on the stand if he wants. I would be there every day if I didn't kill my kid. If I was wrongly accused, I'd be in that courtroom every single day. What's he doing? He's hiding. Come on. So the first witness is Harmony's foster mom. Her name is Michelle Raftery. She works for foster parents now to help and support them. Harmony called her mama and her husband, Dada and Papa. Harmony came to them in 2014. It started with a call from the Division of Children and Family Services. Harmony was 2 months old at the time. Michelle said she had a very intimidating diagnosis. At that time, it was believed that Harmony had hydroprocephaly, legally blind in both eyes, and they didn't think Harmony would live past the age of 7 months. Harmony had a team of doctors, but Michelle noticed when she was feeding Harmony that Harmony was tracking her with one of her eyes. She said Harmony was a loving child, sweet, happy, social, left a sparkle wherever she went. She lived with them 3 different times. The first time was 2 months, and then she was sent back to her mother. She came back for 2.5 years, then back to her mom. She came back 10 months later. She said Harmony was not developmentally delayed. She had doctors and specialists. They changed her diagnosis to septo-optic dysplasia, and early intervention was key. She was meeting benchmarks and succeeding. Michelle last saw Harmony in December of 2018. They show a school picture of Harmony. They show Adam. She got very emotional looking at the picture of Harmony. She said Harmony was potty trained while she was with them. She was 2.5 going on 3 when she was trained. And she started with them and then finished the potty training with her mom. Michelle said that Harmony did not like to have soiled clothes on, and she pretty much potty trained herself. She said when Harmony came back to live with them, she never had any accidents. The defense on cross, the last time she was with Michelle, she was there for about 10 months, and then she went into another foster care. The defense attorney said you felt she had more needs than you could help, so she went to a therapeutic foster care. Michelle said no. She went to another foster home. They asked, had you asked that Harmony be placed in a therapeutic foster home? And she said no. They asked, why did she leave your home? Michelle says that co-parenting a child with trauma is very difficult. Co-parenting a child with trauma with DCF involvement is extremely difficult. That was the end of her testimony. You could tell she very much loved Harmony, and this no doubt will haunt her forever. She had Harmony so much in those critical stages where clearly Michelle and her husband were taking Harmony to the specialist, getting that early intervention that was likely the big difference that allowed Harmony to thrive as much as she did. The next witness is Crystal, Harmony's mother. The state asked about June 7th, 2014. Her mom gets very emotional. She said, that's the day my daughter, Harmony Renee Montgomery, was born. Crystal has no other daughters, and she and Harmony share a middle name. Adam was not living with them when Harmony was born. Harmony was misdiagnosed 2 times before they ultimately determined she was blind in her right eye. 3 months after birth, she was sent to live with Michelle due to drug addiction with Crystal. She said she is a recovering addict, but at the time she was struggling. She said now life is very different. She regained custody in March of 2016. She said Harmony was rambunctious, amazing, very smart. And at 2, she could tell you her life story. She was very talkative. People often didn't believe she was only 2. She said Harmony did well with potty training. She was excited to be a big sister and not wear diapers. September, October of 2018, Harmony went back to Michelle's to live. At this time, Harmony was 3. Then in 2019, Adam got custody of Harmony. He was living in Manchester, New Hampshire on Guilford Street. After she went to Adam's, she had 2 physical visits with Harmony at Guilford Street and then 2 FaceTime calls, both of which were very brief. When Crystal visited Harmony at that Guilford Street house, she was only allowed in the living room and the bathroom. She wasn't allowed to go see Harmony's bedroom or anything like that. She said that they only communicated through Facebook. Adam refused to give her his number. She last saw Harmony in April of 2019 on a FaceTime call right around Easter. Crystal had job training and she just couldn't do a physical visit. After that, she kept reaching out to Kayla and Adam, begging to see Harmony. She said she told him she was sorry if she did anything to make them mad. She just wanted to see her daughter. Crystal got a call from Adam's uncle in July. she continued to try to get Adam. This call will come in later, but it's about the black eye incident. She reached out to all of Adam's family, trying to see Harmony throughout that entire year. And in 2020, she was still trying to find them. She even made a new Facebook profile because Adam and Kayla had blocked her on her regular one. She kept trying through 2021, and by December of 2021, she was calling the DCF, telling her therapist, telling anyone who was a mandated reporter because she hadn't gotten anywhere. She even wrote the mayor. In December of 2021, Crystal met with the Manchester PD to try and find Harmony. She gave them permission by signing anything they needed her to sign, including medical authorizations. She gave 2 DNA swabs. She gave permission for them to look through her Facebook accounts. They show her a picture of Adam at this point. She looks revolted. She identifies him. And then they show a photo of Harmony and she says, "That's my girl. That's Harmony." She also said that when Adam had Harmony, Harmony never went to school. Can't imagine what she must deal with in her heart every single day. The next witness is a really quick witness who saw Harmony in June of 2019. Harmony had some kind of sores or a rash around her mouth. She weighed her. Harmony was 35.2 pounds at 5 years old. The defense says, "You don't know the results of the exam by the doctor." She says no. And her observation of anything that was amiss were those sores around Harmony's mouth. The next witness, Kevin Montgomery, Adam's uncle. Adam is his brother's son. This definitely affects him on a very, very deep level. When they would ask him things about Harmony, you could tell he was just reliving in his mind those things as he stared off to remember. It was very sad to watch. The first part of 2019, Kevin was living in Manchester with Adam, Kayla, and the kids. His mother and his ex owned the home. He looks at a photo of Harmony's room and identifies that. He went to Florida for 3 weeks with his son to go see his mom who had health issues. And in April, she had triple bypass. That's what that trip was centered around. He came back to New Hampshire roughly on July 22nd. That's just a few days after the 19th, when Harmony was hit by Adam. When he got back to the house, he saw Harmony in the kitchen. She had a horrible black eye. He gets emotional. He said it was like a raccoon eye, just all the way around, and it was black and blue. He said something like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do, Harmony?" Adam was standing right beside her and said she didn't do anything. "I bashed her around the effing house." Harmony never said anything in response to him, only Adam. Adam told Kevin that he was using the bathroom and put Harmony in charge of the baby. Adam said when he came out, Harmony had her hands over his mouth and his lips were blue. Then Adam said he bashed her around after that. He said when he was hearing this story, it was only him, Adam, and Harmony in the kitchen. He stayed that night but left the next morning and he never stayed there again. Kevin told his mother, his son's mother, his brother and sister, Adam's friends, Harmony's mom, Harmony's foster mom. He called Child Protective Services to report it to get help for Harmony. He did see her again after that day in September of 2019 back at that house on Guilford before they were evicted, but he never saw her again. He later talked to Adam about the black eye. Adam apologized to him for hitting Harmony. But going from fall of 2019 into the summer of 2020, Kevin tried to get in touch with Adam, but he couldn't. He got someone on Facebook on Kayla's account. He was blocked from Adam's account. Now they go into this. He admits in court that he has 2 felonies. 2015, a felony for a felon being in possession of a weapon, and 2016 for theft. But they also make clear that he has completed his sentences and all those charges are wrapped up. On cross, they talk about Adam saying she didn't do anything, and Adam talking about finding Harmony allegedly suffocating Declan, the son, and the lips were blue. Hands over the mouth. Declan was 5 months old at the time. So they ask Kevin, the uncle, "You said he made a comment and he sounded cocky." Then they ask, "Could it be sarcasm?" He says, "Not in my opinion." They asked if Adam expressed concern over the boy. Yes. Then they asked, "You called Child Protective Services 10 days later?" He said, "Yeah, about a week later." On redirect, when he said, "I bashed her around the house," did that sound like sarcasm? He said, "No." "Did you see Declan with blue lips?" He said, no, that's just what Adam said. Did you confuse what Adam said about bashing her around the house? And he said, I was not confused. The next witness is Kate Morin. She knows Adam through rehab. They were romantically involved for just a little bit in 2021. Adam told her Kayla would do anything for him, and he talked about his kids to her. And one conversation stood out to her. She said they were at lunch talking about their kids, and he said the worst thing he had done was after seeing Harmony suffocate the baby, he said he backhanded her and hit her glasses. So she ended up with a black eye. She said she asked him to go to Maine with her, but he said he would be too far away from his kids. There was no cross on that, by the way. The next witness is Nicholas Ahern. He's from Manchester. He's known Adam since he was 18. He's in his 30s now. He knew Adam had a daughter named Harmony, and he met her once. He saw Harmony when he came out to the house on Guilford, and this was the time where Harmony had the black eye. When Harmony came out, Adam told her to go back inside just after a few seconds, and he was very forceful when he told her. He walked her to the door, and then he shut it. Nicholas said it looked to be a very severe injury. He said it was intense. Adam told him Harmony got that playing soccer. He said he was concerned, but at the same time, he has kids and really thought the soccer story was the truth. The next witness is Deputy Sheriff Paul Montre. He was there when Adam and the family were evicted. Those evictions come from a court order. And usually with evictions, they give 10 or 15 minutes for people to get what belongings they can get. He said the house was kind of dirty, lots of clothes around. There were children. Adam and Kayla were there. And then after the eviction, they post no trespass stickers. The landlord will come around and change the locks usually. So that was kind of his testimony. And then the last witness of the day is Demetrius Torres. He worked for the Child Protective Services during the time Harmony was alive and living on Guilford. He got an anonymous report on July 29th, 2019 that Harmony had been injured. I do believe this is the uncle calling. He tried to initiate contact with the family to visit. He ended up going to the residence to try and see if he could catch the family there. As he pulled up to the location, he saw Adam getting into a car with Harmony. They drove away. He said it was about 40 feet away from where they were. He said they just got inside their car and left. He approached the home and a large dog was barking at him. He did not see Harmony that day other than briefly for maybe 10 seconds getting in the car. But he did speak with Adam later that day to arrange a home visit to see and speak with Harmony. He also called August 1st of 2019 and talked to Adam. Adam said Harmony and one of the other kids weren't feeling well, needed to go to the doctor, so they couldn't be seen that day. He said he had a face-to-face with Harmony about a week later on August 7th of 2019. He did observe that Harmony had a small red mark with discoloration under one of her eyes. Adam told him he bought the younger kid something like lightsabers, and she was struck in the face, and that's how she got the mark. On January 8th of 2020, he made contact with Adam. He said Harmony was back with her biological mother due to their unstable housing situation. He tried to get Crystal. He left a voicemail, and that was pretty much it. It's just so sad, y'all. So many missed opportunities to get this girl out of the situation. But, you know, she wasn't in school either. Sometimes these things are caught at school. Sometimes they're not. Tomorrow will be Kayla Montgomery on the stand. I think Cross is going to be vicious with her because they outright accused her of doing that today. So we'll bring you that tomorrow. In the meantime, hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you soon.